It's match number 14 in Indian Premier League and it's time for bottom of the table contest. On a difficult wicket at Chepauk, Punjab and Hyderabad batsmen will be put to ultimate test. With both sides desperate for a win, quite high are the stakes. Both the teams will have few really difficult decisions to make. On one side there is Mohammad Shami, while on the other we will have Bhuvanesh Kumar. Both the lethal pacers will be raring to go after disappointing campaigns so far. Two of the best openers in IPL 2021 are leading their respective sides. It's KL Rahul versus David Warner today as they aim to turn the tides.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is the pre-match show. You're watching SportsTiger, and today we have a very exciting midweek doubleheader on a Wednesday. So the first matchup, the one we're going to discuss right now, is going to be Hyderabad versus Punjab. And who better than to call upon to discuss this game than our in-house cricket expert, Monty Panesa.
Hi, thank you for having me on the show.
Hi, Monty. How are you doing? Looking forward to the Punjab game today?
Yeah, the Punjab Kings, the two teams, bottom of the table teams. You know, it will be clash of the if there was another division, these will be the two teams that will get relegated. But the problem with Punjab Kings, if they bat first, is KL Rahul and also Chris Gayle. They both are really slow starters. They may even, if they are quite tactically astute, if KL Rahul gets out or Mahang Agarwal, I reckon Mahang Agarwal's more the attacking batsman. Maybe just have Nicholas Pooran batting at 3. You know, having that slow starter attacking batsman combination works really well with Punjab Kings. They're going to do something, or else if they keep performing like they are, they'll be at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, absolutely, Monty. Lots of ideas there, and everybody's been, pitching in with their ideas because we see that what Punjab is truly capable of. If we see the talent on paper, it seems like a squad that has enough talent. Unfortunately, they haven't been delivering to the kind of potential they carry. And it becomes even more surprising when you have somebody as experienced as Anil Kumble at the helm of everything. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Punjab, but also moving the discussion a bit towards Hyderabad. They've lost so many games in a row. They're looking for their first win of this tournament. And it really gets surprising when you see a squad like Hyderabad, led by some of the most brilliant minds, be it Trevor Bayliss, be it BVS Lakshman, David Warner as captain. It gets surprising, to see a squad like that not being able to open their account in this tournament yet. And I think, and you would agree to that, probably they need to get more experience today in the middle order.
Absolutely. David Warner has probably scored so many runs for, Sunrisers. I think he's got the most 50s against Punjab Kings. But the one thing with, David Warner is that he knows that his team relies heavily on him and he could maybe put extra pressure on him. The team basically needs to bat around David Warner. David Warner has to play the long innings here because if he goes for boundaries, 6s and 4s a bit too early, it could mean home time for Sunriser Hyderabaders.
Yeah, absolutely. The team relying too much on the openers, Warner and Bairstow. So somebody in the middle order needs to come in and show some experience and take the game till the end and finish it off for them. We're going to discuss the probable 11 for today's game, Monty. We're going to have a discussion on that, and especially when you look at a side like Punjab, got two fantastic openers in the likes of KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal. Mayank Agarwal scoring the second fastest 50 in his previous outing. KL Rahul again missing out on a big 100. But like you said, some concerns about his strike rate maybe. Then comes Chris Gayle, who is, as we know, the universe boss, single-handedly can dominate a game and finish the game off for his side, but hasn't really taken off yet. We still haven't seen that big knock from Chris Gayle yet. Then Deepak Hooda, who's been looking really good, looks really promising in this tournament. I think he's coming out with a purpose, with some serious intent, but a very, very big concern. Nicholas Pooran. Actually, I want to talk to you, Monty, about Nicholas Pooran. If you see Pooran's statistics, especially from the previous season, he's such an exciting talent. He even scored the fastest 50 last season. So what's going wrong here? We still haven't seen Nicholas Puran fire. He's not delivering to his potential. What do you think is going wrong with Nicholas this season?
Well, I think Nicholas Puran, the likes of Deepak Hunda, who is actually fantastically striking the ball so well. I reckon he is striking the best at the moment in the IPL, and it's been a huge addition for Punjab Kings. Finally, they've got an Indian domestic player striking at the same level as Chris Gale. That's what was missing last year with Punjab Kings. But with Nicholas Puran, he is exciting talent. He may just feel like he's being, not getting the responsibility or under the shadows of Chris Gale. Maybe, Deepak Hunda has taken his role, what he did last year. He needs to find a way to fire himself and think that he has a role in this team. And we need to see, the Puran that we saw last year, smash, buckling and wobbling, hitting the ball out of the ground.
Absolutely. We'd like to see the old Puran that we know and love so much. But I like what you said, Monty, that what was missing last season were some of the Indian players having the ability to strike at the rates of like a Chris Gale or a Nicholas Puran. To this time around, things have changed. The Indian players have really stepped up their game. If you see how cleanly Deepak Hooda has been striking the ball, and even Shah Rukh Khan, he's been so impressive. It's his first tournament. He came with a lot of fanfare in the auction, and he's been delivering. He's been scoring at a great strike rate and has been doing a fabulous job low down the orders. Shows a lot of promise and a lot of intent. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing more big knocks from Shah Rukh Khan. And then we have the spinner in Jalaj Saxena. Let's see if he gets a game today. I'm not sure. Jai Richardson, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, and Murugan Ashwin. Do you think, and obviously the top picks that SportsTiger has picked out for today's game from Punjab's side are Mayank Agarwal, KL Rahul, and Mohammad Shami. So do you agree with the probable playing 11, Monty, or do you see some changes today in this 11?
Well, the concern for me is going to be Mohammad Shami. Last game, his confidence wasn't quite there. Bowling full toss, no balls, wasn't quite sure. He's a very clinical bowler. Put him under pressure. He knows how to deliver. That is going to be the concern. If he can bowl well, get his 4 overs to do very well, then I think this could be Punjab Kings' match yet again, because so much onus is on David Warner. They've even drafted the likes of Kane Williamson. We did talk about it in a few games ago that there is so much onus on the top 2 batters. So they've obviously feel that if both of them go out early, if that is the case, T20, you just never know. One good ball and you're out. They've still got Kane Williamson there. So that is obviously, a concern, and we've highlighted that. And it just appears that if they get off to a good start, David Warner and Johnny Bairstow, then they will be in the game. But also Rashid Khan. Teams know that they are playing 16-over matches against Sunrisers Hyderabad. They scored freely in the first 16, not give any wickets away to the likes of Rashid Khan. Go for 4 for 20, 4 for 30. They are happy with that. But we have seen the main man, the left armer, Nitarajan. He is back. And we did say, does he need to be rested for a few more games? Absolutely. So we are excited to see the young talent, Deepak Hunda against Nitarajan. 2 exciting Indian prospects. Let's see how this game goes.
Yes, 2 exciting Indian prospects. But like I said, this is a probable playing 11 who we might see today on the ground. We're still not too sure. And yes, Hyderabad will need the experience of somebody like Kane Williamson, who we still haven't seen in the tournament, because there have been concerns on who can come in the middle order and save the game if Manish Pandey gets out. Because we saw Holder sitting out in the previous game, and a lot of youngsters like Abhishek Sharma, Abdul Samad coming in, but not being able to fire. There is another experienced Indian batsman sitting on the bench for Hyderabad, Kedar Jadhav, who might just get a game today, because I saw him receiving a cap. So let's see if Kedar Jadhav today can come in. But if you see the bowling lineup, they've been backing Khalil Ahmed, can look promising. But yes, a lot of onus of this bowling on the magic man, the magician Rashid Khan. Always bowling the tough overs, always going for the big prized wickets of the opposition. So let's see if somebody else can also share that responsibility from Rashid Khan. The top picks from Hyderabad being David Warner, Rashid Khan, and Bhuvanesh Kumar. I wanted to talk to you, Monty, about how important it is because you mentioned how Mohammad Shami in the previous game was under so much pressure. He lost his headspace, started bowling so many extras. So you see somebody like Bhuvanesh Kumar on the other end. Where do you think the difference lies? We've seen Bhuvanesh Kumar bowl some of the toughest overs, especially in the death, and keep his cool and keep the game tight. What do you think Bhuvanesh Kumar is doing right, which Mohammad Shami isn't?
Well, Bhuvanesh Kumar is a fantastic swing bowler. He knows early on he'll look to swing that ball with the new delivery and try and get wickets by bowling good, fast bowling stock deliveries. And then if that's not going to happen, then he has alternative game plans. He knows how to bowl the in swing up at the ball to cut back in, not to give any room, to the batsman and try and be restrictive. But with Mohammad Shami, he just did not know what was going on. We get it all the time. First couple of overs in the power play, you may go for runs, but we've seen that the real commodity of the fast bowler is when they get the Yorkers right at the death, and that's something Mohammad Shami was brilliant at. He needs to get back to that clarity, to show the level of performance that we expect from a veteran like Mohammad Shami.
And also news coming in, we've just seen the lineup and the changes from Punjab. They've drafted in Fabian Allen and Moises Henriques today in the lineup, so which is very exciting to see, because we've been discussing it time and again that Punjab is lacking some all-rounders in the middle, and the batting order, starts looking a little weak at the lower end. So probably today, Henriques and Fabian Allen can provide the right bowling and batting options and give that depth to Punjab that it's been lacking in the previous game. So I'm actually quite excited, because I rate Fabian Allen as one of the very exciting upcoming all-rounders in the T20 format. So that's pretty exciting. And like I mentioned earlier, Kedar Jadhav will be making his debut. Hyderabad announced their team as well. So yes, some experience coming back in this middle order. Moving forward, Monty, this pitch, Chipok. It has so many surprises for us. We've seen some incredible things happen, in the last few overs, especially in the evening games as well, with the dew factor coming in. What are you expecting today from this Chennai pitch? And what do you think? How do you think the spinners should approach it?
Well, this first game is going to be, a much more of a fairer contest. No dew's going to be involved. And also, the thing is, if that pitch is turning and it's spinning, then it'll be interesting to see how Manriquez and Fabian Allen, how they combat the pitch. Because yesterday we saw, the likes of even the Mumbai Indians, they nearly won that game, but they were, Jasprit Bumrah is unbelievable bowling these slower balls, slower cutters. He's got the quicker delivery as well. So we normally just say it's the spinner's game if it's turning and bouncing. But believe it or not, if the fast bowlers are there, they can still bowl a good slower ball. And the Rajasthan Royals do it the best. But who knows? We may even see Sunrisers Hyderabad learn some skills at last.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for David Warner, because in the last 10 innings against Punjab, he's failed to cross 50. He's only done it once. So it's going to be a big challenge for David Warner. But the toss has already taken place, and Punjab have won the toss and opted to bat first. So do you think it's going to be a big challenge today with Punjab's bowling lineup being tested? Like we've said that, they haven't fired yet. The bowling unit has not contributed as well as the batsmen have in this squad. And now that they'll be bowling second, it's going to get a bit tricky for Punjab.
Well, Punjab needs a good total. They've made a couple of changes. They need a good total, and this will give a lot of confidence with Mohammad Shami. Under pressure, he knows if he doesn't play well, he may get, this could be, may rest, for the next few games. And when any sportsman is under pressure, they want to prove that I still got the skills. So the key is going to be with Punjab Kings. They need to bat well. They need to be have that clarity in their thinking. But also, I like the option of defensive and attacking. Both attack, great, but you do not want to lose 2 wickets at the same time. If one goes, then the other one has to consolidate. Punjab have been lacking that throughout most of the matches. They keep attacking or they're going too slow. They need to have that clarity in their roles. So if we see KL Rahul or Agarwal both going at it, one of them goes out, the other one better drop the gears.
Absolutely. Today, more than any other day, it's going to be very important for KL and Mayank to put up a big total, to put up a big partnership, because the universe boss Chris Gale will not be playing today. Like I said, Enriques and Fabian Allen have come in, but Meredith and Chris Gale are sitting out. So it's going to be a big, big challenge, and hence there's even more responsibility and pressure from the opening pair to put up a big total. Because, like I said earlier, uh, Nicholas Puran hasn't fired yet. So we'll have to wait and see. But also, I would want to talk about SRH chasing Monty. SRH still has failed to win a game when they've been chasing. Do you think we're going to see something different today?
Well, what we're hoping is that David Warner is under less pressure with Kane Williamson there. He can bat freely, knowing that if he gets out and he pays the risky shot, the onus isn't on him. And that's why they've got Kane Williamson there. Kane Williamson is a great player of match awareness. He's got brilliant match awareness. And my only concern will be if this is a low total scoring, Sunrisers Hyderabad will have a great chance of winning this because they have got some great experience in that batting lineup. Even the young, not young, but Kedar Yadav, great player. We've seen his talent when he played for India. So this is crucial. Punjab have won the toss. They need to bat with ascendancy. They need runs on the board. Then it's game on.
Absolutely, it's going to be game on because it seems like the management has heard the fans, has heard the cricket experts on SportsTiger and us presenters as well. Because today the middle order looking much more settled, much more sorted with the experience of Kane Williamson and Kedar Jadhav finally coming in. Fans had been waiting to see Kane Williamson in that middle order. So today the management has made that draft, and let's see if they can deliver to the potential. We're going to move on to the next segment. They're going to be the players to watch out for in today's game. One of the players that I'm going to be watching out for sure is Murugan Ashwin because he replaces Jalat Saxena. So let's see if he's able to keep his spot back. But otherwise, SportsTiger has put up a list of players to watch out in today's game. Shah Rukh Khan, Abdul Samad, Arshdeep Singh, Vijay Shankar. I want to talk to you, Monty, about Vijay Shankar. He has always been a guy who has shown promise. In fact, even when he started playing for his national squad, he got drafted into the World Cup 11 as well. But we still haven't seen the best of Shankar. In the previous game, he took a couple of wickets, played a decent knock with the bat as well, but wasn't able to finish off the game for his squad and didn't deliver when his help was really, really needed. So what do you think? Where is Vijay Shankar going wrong? And can we finally see him deliver to the potential that he's promised?
Look, I think he's done all right. He's picked up a few wickets. Yeah, he's that type of player which, you kind of forget very easily. Even when he's performing well, you don't really, he's not the guy you always look out for. He's not the guy that we sing his praises all the time. But, he just needs to find a role for himself at Sunrisers Hyderabad. Do a job with the ball and the bat. He's an all-rounder. He must remember that he needs to do job with both formats, and he'll have a place in the team, and that's what it is. He just needs to have some sort of work out what his role is. He can bat okay. He's a good batsman. If there's a situation, in this match where he has to get the team over the line, he needs to do that. If he needs to bat against the guy who's attacking, he has to play that role. He's in that position where he has to play. It's a multitask role. And that's why Vijay Shankar we never talk about him, because his role is actually more selfless and he's helping the team, and it's not about him winning the match, but he's got to somehow, his position is always going to be under threat because he's that bits and pieces cricketer, and the bits and pieces has to always do what is right for the team.
Yes, bits and pieces cricketer, and often forgotten for his contributions. We are yet to see the best of Vijay Shankar with the bat. We saw what he can do with the ball, especially on wickets like Chepauk, which are slow and turning. He can be a useful bowler in such conditions. But with the bat, I think it's time that Vijay Shankar starts taking up some responsibility. Trevor Bayliss has been backing him, has been saying that he's been striking the ball really, really well in the nets. But yeah, let's see if Vijay Shankar can give one or two crucial knocks that can help SRH finish off the game, especially in a match like today when they'll be chasing, and they haven't had a great record whenever chasing in this tournament. I'm going to move on to the next player, Arshdeep Singh. I know you like him a lot, and I think the management does too, because he's probably the only player in this bowling lineup who's been bowling really well, who's been bowling the right line and lengths, and has had the best economy rate. Tell me about the importance of a player like Arshdeep Singh in this lineup, being far lesser experienced than the likes of Mohammad Shami, but having the most contribution. How amazing it is to see that.
Well, Arshdeep Singh is that one youngster, which you kind of thought, is he got the potential like last year to come through and really, the top, the crucial moments as a fast bowler, you've got to bowl the good overs in the team, And KL Rahul, he's the guy who's looking up to him now. And has that actually indirectly put pressure on Mohammad Shami, knowing that actually, if I don't perform well, I'm out of the team, because it's Harshdeep Singh who is doing very well. Left-armers are always going to be in the game, but they can always go the distance because of the angles that they come through. He's been a revelation, and he needs to continue to grow and thrive under the pressured situation. Because more he says to KL Rahul, give me the over, give me the death over. I will, bowl 6 balls and get the wicket or restrict the run rate. The commodity of this youngster will keep going up, up, and up.
Absolutely. I'm loving the confidence being shown by Arshdeep Singh and the responsibility that he's been taking with the ball, whether with the new ball, whether in the death overs. I think he's doing a fabulous job by delivering for a side that's constantly under pressure, where the other bowlers haven't been performing. It's amazing to see a youngster like Arshdeep absorb so much pressure and still managing to deliver. It's beautiful to see that. But another person who I personally I'm really, really looking out for in today's game is Shah Rukh Khan. Like I said, came in with so much fanfare in the auction, has been looking really good, striking the ball really well. In fact, somebody has been saying that probably he could be India's next Pollard. Maybe calling it out a little too early. But from the very little that you've seen of Shah Rukh, Monty, in the few games that Punjab has played, what are your comments on him? Are you liking this young bloke?
Well, Shah Rukh Khan is not the Badshah of Shah Rukh Khan Bollywood, but this is the cricketer who, this is what I love about this IPL. You have young cricketers coming through. They have huge potential. They must own the stage. They must go there and showcase their talent. Do not hide back, Shah Rukh Khan. Give your talent. Show the world how good you are in this IPL, because very soon life changes quickly. Ask Rishabh Pant in Australia, wins a test match in Brisbane. Suddenly now captain, he is the box office player. And any of these youngsters, they have a good IPL, suddenly their box office. That's how quickly life can change for the Indian youngsters in the IPL.
Absolutely. You see a lot of youngsters now coming up in from domestic cricket and doing really well in the IPL. Like the Shah Rukh Khan on the big screen, this Shah Rukh Khan has been giving some box office hits for this Punjab squad. And let's see if he can carry on with that momentum and help his side reach big totals that help Punjab win games going forward. We're going to have some more discussion on the players, but first we have collected some tweets from our fans before the game. So we're going to move on to that. Let's see what the fans have been tweeting about for the first game. The first game in Chennai pits 2 teams, Punjab and SRH, that have threatened much but failed to deliver. Not much to choose between them, but Chennai trend is to back the team batting first, which is my plan. Game starts 11 a.m. UK time. So Monty, do you also back the team batting first, as has been the trend at Chipok?
Absolutely. The team that bats first tends to win the match in Chennai. They tend to say it's not the team that's playing, it's the team that is batting first, and whoever wins the toss. So if you're winning the toss, you end up winning the game. And that's why Punjab Kings, they've got no excuses. They need to deliver today. Today's a big game. A lot of pressure on Anil Kumble. He's got everything that he wants now. Conditions in his favor. All he's got to do is get the team to perform. And this should be Punjab Kings' match, knowing the history on this ground.
I agree. They've won the toss. They've made the right changes. They've learned from their previous mistakes. The stage is set today. Punjab should be able to take it home from here. Moving to the second tweet, Manpreet Singh Chandu says, Sunrisers will never rise, only with Warner, Bairstow and Rashid Khan. There is no hitter, no middle order batsman, and there is no overseas quality seamer. This is happening every IPL season. So really harsh, like a big critic of SRH here tweeting out, but I can understand the emotions because I'm a fan of SRH as well. So I understand, where the person's coming from, because yes, Hyderabad has been relying too much on the top order and Rashid Khan to always take crucial wickets. But Monty, today we have Williamson, we have Jadhav in the 11, so some experience coming in there, so that can probably help this squad. But yes, we're still lacking a quality overseas seamer. I'm going to move to the next tweet. Cricket Holics says, in these slow tracks in Chennai, SRH need to bring in Kane Williamson. The middle order's poor performance can be greatly compensated in games against MI. His calm composure will help his side get over the line. So a lot of people reaching out to SRH to get Williamson back. Such a big fan club of Williamson in India and those who are following this tournament. So Monty, good move today. Great, looking promising. SRH with Williamson in.
Yeah, absolutely. Kane Williamson in the team, I think, adds and sort of hopefully will allow David Warner to express himself and bat freely like he has done. But the trouble is, for SRH, they just, this is a problem. When you have an overseas captain, it limits you with options. The captain has to play. You effectively got only 3 overseas players. Johnny Bairstow plays. So you got 2 spots really as an overseas. And Nitrajan needs to fire with the ball because they don't have a great, fast bowling seamer. They have Rashid Khan who will play as well. You can't drop Rashid Khan. So there's only one spot for an overseas. Kane Williamson, Jason Holder. Who do you bring in? And that's the problem with this team. They don't have much flexibility and maneuver. Possibly change the captaincy. Next year, bring in a captain of Indian, domestic captain in the team. So then it gives that flexibility for a bit of maneuver. But they have been successful. We can't take anything away from David Warner. He scores runs. He is a box office player. Let's see the best of David Warner today.
I agree. This is one of those squads in this tournament that always have to deal with the 4 overseas slot conundrum because they have such great overseas talent on the bench, but always failing to pick who's the right one to come in because it's so hard to leave any one of these players out, and hence SRH always struggles to find that balance. But hopefully today, they have found it, and the domestic bowlers can deliver for them. We're going to move on to the next segment, which is the fantasy guide. SportsTiger has collated a list of 11 players who we feel the viewers should follow, and these players could help them get the maximum number of points for their fantasy game in today's game. Starting with the wicketkeeper at the top, KL Rahul, who's going to be the captain for today. Then it's David Warner, the vice captain. Manish Pandey in the middle order. Chris Gale, unfortunately missing out though today. Then Mayank Agarwal, Vijay Shankar, Deepak Huda, Rashid Khan, the magic man, Bhuvanesh Kumar with the ball, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Shami. So that's the 11 that we're going ahead with for our fantasy lineup. Any changes you want to see there in Monty?
Well, Ashwin, I've got to say you're a big fan of Vijay Shankar. You like his role in the team. So he's definitely a player, which I think hopefully will perform. Deepak Hunda definitely has to be in there, with the striking that we've seen from him. He's been unbelievable. But I think, today's going to be the 2 big pressure players is going, for me, it's going to be Mohammad Shami and also the likes of Mayank Agarwal. He gets a good start. He always gets a good start. He needs to consolidate and take it further. You cannot be in that position and say, that was my shot. I took it on and I'm out. In the power play, you're allowed to do that. Go for it. Hit over the top. You get out, no problem. But once you pass the power play, if you're still batting, it's time to consolidate. And like I say, from gear 6, you go down to gear 3 after the 6th over.
Absolutely. I think the only change I'd probably make now is since Chris Gale's not making to the 11 of his squad, I'll put in Enriquez. I feel he's a very experienced player in the T20 format and will play a crucial role today for Punjab, bringing some stability there in the middle order and adding some depth to the bowling as well. And this pitch might just suit his style of bowling. So for me, Enriquez comes in place of Gale. One player, Monty, if you had to pick from both the sides, who is going to be your go-to player? One from Punjab, one from Hyderabad in today's game. Who's going to have the biggest impact today? One player.
Well, one player for me is going to be Bhuvanesh Kumar. He swings the ball. He moves it more than any other Indian bowler in the team. He's a useful player, and he's the one that I'm backing today.
And from Punjab, who's going to be that one player?
Well, I don't want to be Punjabi biased, and pick Harjit Singh, so I'm not going to do that, because then the fans in India will say he's only supporting him because he's Punjabi and he's Sikh. So I'll go for someone else. I really enjoyed Deepak Hunda because I love the way he just get. I like players who come into bat, confidence from cold, hit the ball out of the ground. And that's what Deepak Hunda is doing. What a fantastic player. Let's see that strike rate go from 200 to 250 today.
Absolutely. And like you said, Bhuvanesh Kumar could be the impact player today up front with the ball since the bowling first. So yeah, we're waiting to see what Bhuvanesh Kumar can do with the new ball. And it is going to be a big matchup. Like I mentioned earlier when we started the segment, it's something to be seen from both ends. You have somebody like Shami who's been playing for his national squad. On the other end, there's Bhuvanesh Kumar. So Bhuvanesh versus Shami, who does better, who comes out on top? I think it's going to be something really wonderful to see. But one very, very big question today, Monty. Natarajan actually missing out. We had been talking about how important it is for Natarajan to come in and deliver. But Natarajan missing out. Hyderabad has drafted in Siddharth Kaul instead and have also backed Khalil Ahmed after his previous outing. So what do you think about that? Siddharth Kaul coming in place of Natarajan?
Yeah, look, these guys got their chances. They've got to grab them. That's what they got to do. Go there, grab it, perform, show David Warner that I'm the person that, should be playing. And simple as that. If I was playing in that 11 right now, I would perform, no question about it. You've got to be clear, confident, and precise. Clinical. These are the 4 words which should be going through all of these, young Indian domestic players. They're the ones I look out for because I love seeing them perform well. Because Indian cricket is strong. Why not have a 4th Indian team that could compete at international level?
That's why it's the Indian Premier League, Monty. So many great Indian players, competitive, aggressive, looking to take upon any responsibility, any challenge that comes their way, and hence that's what makes this tournament so exciting. I feel quite confident when I see today's Punjab lineup and the right batting order with the likes of Enriquez and Fabian Allen coming in and making this batting lineup much more deeper than what it has been in the previous games. But when we talk about Hyderabad's batting lineup, they've been going through some issues in their previous games. According to you, what should be the batting order in today's game? Seeing the lineup today.
Yeah, look, I think for Hyderabad, it definitely, that top 3 looks great. The 3 overseas players are all good. And when we look at Punjab, Kings, they again, the 2 openers have been successful last year. They again need to, I think if they both go hard, which is great, no problem in that. But after the 6th over, if they keep going hard, right, then one does it and the other sits back. That's how they need to consolidate that role when things are not going so great. And then maybe put Nicholas Pooran up the order. Why not put him at 3? If he's got the opportunity to come in early with a power play, get him in there. Tell him to, play your game. We've got Deepak Hunda coming in later anyway. He is the find of Punjab Kings this year. So Nicholas Pooran could be at 3 if they lose an early wicket.
Absolutely. Even I'd like to see Nicholas Pooran come in at 3. Actually, I think he has performed in that slot earlier and can do it again today with Hyderabad, though. I definitely want to see Kedar coming up a little in the order and not be down at 6 or 7. I don't think that's the position where he can deliver the best. I think that's a position best left for somebody like Vijay Shankar or Abhishek Sharma. So let's see if Kedar can probably come at 5 if Kane Williamson is coming in at 4. But we don't know what's going to happen once the game begins, so let's wait and find out. But one final question, Monty, being a spinner, it has to end with a spinner's question. Murugan Ashwin being backed over a young, exciting talent who has proven himself in the last season. I'm talking about Ravi Bishnoi. So do you agree with this decision of the management to back Murugan Ashwin over someone like Ravi Bishnoi?
Well, he needs to perform. He needs to bowl well today. Simple as that. And the conditions are going to be in his favour. So Punjab's batters have it in their favour and the spinners have it in their favour at Chupak, because we know the ball turns and bounces. And, you've got to give it in the air. Don't be afraid, because the ball will sit in the pitch. And when the batsman goes and puts pace on the ball, you've got a chance to get wickets. So from that point of view, he needs to perform today. He doesn't perform today, Anil Kumble will say, sorry, mate, I gave you a chance and we lost again. Ravi Bishnu comes in the team. Punjab Kings win today and Ashwin doesn't perform. I'm sorry again, Ravi Bishnu comes in. So Punjab win and Ashwin needs to perform. That's the equation for Ashwin. We all need to see.
I agree. I think Murugan Ashwin's been given a lot of opportunities, and today, if he doesn't end up performing, we might just see him also moving out. We've already seen so many changes in this batting, in this lineup for Punjab, so we might just see another one if Murugan doesn't deliver. But yeah, I do feel a little upset. I'm a little disappointed that Ravi Bishnu didn't get a game. I think he's a very exciting talent and can be an impact player in this bowling lineup, but unfortunately he misses out once again. Monty, we're going to close this segment with your final predictions. Who do you think is going to win this game, and what's going to be the right total to put up by Punjab to help win this game?
For me, I'll be honest with you, KL Rahul has been batting supremely well. We have Agarwal, who is, again, great form. Deepak Hunda is again another player which I can't stop talking about. I might as well just, keep sort of use his. He should be the mantra for the IPL for me. Whenever I watch a Punjab Kings 11, all I keep saying is Deepak Hunda. I love this guy. Amazing cricketer, amazing batsman. What a talent he is. And then we've got the likes of the younger batsmen, Ashwin is a good player. Then we've got, the young left-armer, Sardar, Punjabi guy, which I may have to just favour slightly more because he's not a spinner. So I'm not favouring too much. But the key is this team composition has the team to beat Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad rely too much on the overseas players. Their domestic players are not strong as the Punjab Kings. So I'm going to go with Punjab Kings. Red flag all the way. Preeti Zinta, win for you today.
Well, Bondi is backing Preeti Zinta and her team. And yes, the Punjabi blood in full flow, full fire. So I'm loving the energy today, Monty. But yeah, I also hope that Punjab can win. And that's what the statistics also prove, that batting first is always in favor of the team. But for the total, I feel if Punjab needs to win this, they probably want to put up minimum about 160 to 165 if they want to win this contest. It's a tricky wicket. Funny things can happen. They've happened before. So let's see. If Punjab can put up about 160, 165, I think then it's a competitive contest. Otherwise, they might just lose this one. And Hyderabad could open their account and get their first win of this tournament. So thank you, Monty, for joining me in this segment. And thanks to all the viewers. You were watching the pre-match show on SportsTiger. Today's a double header. The first match coming up, an exciting one. It's Punjab versus Hyderabad, and Monty backing Punjab today. So let's see what happens. Stay tuned in. I'm going to catch you once again in the 10 over segment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.